Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Michael Coren Show. It's a Thursday, and every Thursday, well, most of them anyway, we have federal politics, MPs, politicians. They're very important people, so I'm particularly nice to them. Let's introduce them. Peggy Nash, MP Parkdale High Park, NDP. She's my MP, and a very good one at that. Mark Holland, MP Ajax Pickering. He's a Liberal, first time on the show, I think.
It is, yes. Thank you for having me.
Richard Ciano, he's National Vice President of the Conservative Party. Got to be honest, the Conservative MPs are having a caucus meeting. I bet that's a lot of fun. I was joking.
Never been to one, but yeah.
But we'd have you anyway, as I said, and Bill Kelly, who's a broadcaster, political commentator, ran for Parliament. Interesting, to say the very least, and I think I'm being euphemistic here, that he would make such a statement. This highly intelligent man, this leader of the Liberal Party, who wants a lead candidate, who would make a statement that will allow back into the party a man who acted in the most appalling manner. Why did he even suggest such a thing? He didn't misspeak himself. Surely it was just a major mistake of judgment and character. Do we give the Liberals a hard time?
Stefan Dion showed very weak leadership in his response to that. I think it may not be for Mr. Holland or for Mr. Dion to pass judgment on it, but I think Canadians pass judgment on the conduct of Marky Van Cote and the others involved in the sponsorship scandal last year when they turfed them out of office. And I think I suppose it's not surprising from one point of view that they would bring him back, because Mr. Dion was minister responsible for the Unity File.
He's not being brought back, though, is he?
Well, I mean, he's being brought back into the team. Mr. Dion has clearly signaled a willingness to have him back in as part of the Liberal team to his national executive. So I think it's very clear that again, Mr. Dion was minister at the time. So I suppose he's quite comfortable with the things that they did during the sponsorship scandal.
Are you suggesting that Mr. Dion was part of the corruption?
Well, look, I mean, he was responsible for the Unity File when the sponsorship scandal took place. Okay, so either he was incompetent or he was a weak leader and didn't know what was going on. Either way, it doesn't say very good things. And frankly, now he's signaling a willingness to have the very people who were involved in the scandal back in the Liberal team. It's quite distressing. It's very interesting. They say this was just a little mistake by Mr. Dion inviting Mr. Cote back into the party, but he was very deliberate about what exactly he said. And you know, these are people that were involved, who were hired under Jean Chrétien, who were fired by Paul Martin, and now they're being brought back by Mr. Dion. And when Mr. Holland says, when Mr. Holland says, let me finish this point. When Mr. Holland says that, you know, this was a big change that happened at the Liberal convention, that they voted for a change in leader, that on December 2nd, blah, blah. The reality is he's bringing back the very same team that was there when all these things happened. And he's throwing away the result of the last election entirely. Well, he's signaled a clear openness to bringing back a person who was a player in the sponsorship scandal.
And closed it within a few hours.
Right. So
what's that?
So he closed it within a few hours.
Who's part of the team? Who's part of the team?
Maybe he judged public reaction to it, and he changed his mind based on that. But this clearly wasn't a sentiment.
You're scoring points off each other. The corruption was in the past. No one's alleging surely the new Liberal Party is full of corruption.
Well, but Michael, again, you could make the claim that it was in the past if Stefan Dion was very clear that people who were involved in that scandal, which Canadians so fiercely reviewed.
Was he personally corrupt? Is he personally corrupt?
Well, what I've said very clear, he was the person who was in charge of the Unity File when these happened.
That's an implication.
These things happened.
Make a statement.
So I'll say one of two things were true. He was either in on it, or he was oblivious to it, which means he was an incompetent minister.
Mr. Arrar, who was tortured, of course, by the Syrians, I wish we spent more time attacking the Syrian government. They seem to get off quite lightly. Do you now defend Stockwell Day? Because he has said that he should be taken off the no-fly list and allowed to enter the United States of America. The American ambassador says, mind your own business, Stockwell Day. But the Americans have a right to say this person can't enter our country. I mean, it might be bullish of them, but they do have a right to say you can and you can't enter.
Well, right, but we of course have a right to stand up for Canada's for somebody who is quite clear was very wrong, exactly, and defend a citizen, exactly, and I think Mr. Day has been very firm on this point and has done the right thing.
Or
it's quite clear.
Or is he just trying to show that the government is not too pro-American and saying something?
Oh, no. I think he's trying to do the right thing. I think I think this isn't something that again that you should score political points on. It was a very unfortunate.
Shouldn't, doesn't mean you won't.
It's a very unfortunate incident that happened, and we're of course implementing Justice O'Connor's recommendations on this and trying to get past this unfortunate incident.
Onto foreign policy and. Afghanistan, again, it always comes around to it. Well, we are at war, for goodness sake, in that country.
This is one where I just think the Liberal position on this is absolutely indefensible. Okay, the Afghan mission was started by the Liberals. We've continued it. The mission hasn't changed. They're trying to say it has, but it hasn't. You can't support the troops and not support the work that we're doing there and the mission. Of course we have to bring peace and security to Afghanistan. Of course we're involved in reconstruction efforts. And really what needs to happen is the Liberals, Stéphane Dion in particular, needs to show strong leadership on this issue. And not just, you know, well, one day the mission is okay, I voted against the mission, but I'm really in favor of us being there. You can't play it like that. You have to be in support of the mission, and that's that.
And thank you to the panel. Peggy Nash, a pleasure to have you here as always. Mark Collin, great to have you on the show. It really was. Richard Ciano, thank you so very much, my friend. And Bill Kelly, again, thank you for being